Can I give an antithesis story? That's a success story, and I'm going to give an epic fail story. To kind of counterbalance, which is just my life this weekend. There was like a real plus and then a real minus, and it's probably worth discussing live with people.
The minuses are really important to discuss because
I never hear the minuses.
Let's talk about go.
So, producer duo that I work with a lot hired me to mix a song, and sorry, I just saw that from Brandon. That's really funny. I've never been asked to turn that much up or down, I don't think. So producer duo I work with a lot, mix most of the stuff that they put out. Worked on an artist that I'm very excited about. I like her a lot. I really wanted this project. But there's an executive producer at play who solely works with Serban, and really wanted to use Serban, but the homies wanted to give me a shot at this mix because we've been working together a lot. I did a few passes, and we got it to a place where the three of us liked it, and then sent it to the executive producer, and he was like, man, honestly, this is a cool direction on this, but not how I heard it. I still really feel like Serban should do it. So, but if you want to take one more stab at a bit more of a more focused, dry mix on it, I went a little bit more romantic and ambient and kind of more spacious, dynamic, three-dimensional. But I understood why he came back saying that. So I did my approach at that. And again, he was like, all right, this is a lot closer, but I'm still hearing Serban. So we're going to send it to Serban anyway. I'm like, that's totally cool. The communication was so direct with me that nothing hurt any of my feelings. This happened. Sometimes you're just not the right fit for the game. Yeah. But then, because they're the homies, they sent me or showed me Serban's mix, and I was like, it's pretty good. I understand why you'd want that. And then I gave one more attempt, and after hearing that, just because, and it still didn't work out, right? But I kept giving these attempts mostly just because I wanted to prove to myself that I could do something that really isn't my style, right?
That's really important. That's a really important thing to do for all of us. And
the point, though, is going back to something that we talk about endlessly and tirelessly on this podcast here, which is Serban always going to be better Serban than I'm going to be. I should have maybe backed out just because, it took me more time. I was happy to do it because I'm enthralled by the artist. I really wish that it worked out that way. But hearing what he did, his still was a better version of that than mine. And mine was close because I know how to mix like that. I know how to mix dense pop, congested, kind of up against the glass. I practiced that way. I used to want to mix that way. So I understand the methodology of what it takes to do that. I know some tricks and tools to do that. But he's always going to be better at it than I am. So I had to learn. So I had one super up and exciting, and one was it was kind of a letdown, but also a new place in my career and my life and my personality of it's not that big of a deal. Good for him. I'm glad he got it. There wasn't any letdown, depression feeling when the homies let me know it wasn't going to work out. I was like, all good. Thanks for giving me the opportunity, and I genuinely meant it, right? And that's something that I would not have felt 6 months to a year ago. I would have either been depressed for a week because of it. I would have been Serban. Just kind of more angry of why does he always get the things? And I honestly if you were to hear this, I don't love it. I don't love it, but I know what it is that they like about it. I still want to shift people to more the potential of more dynamic range to certain genres of music that I think would still have a level of success that it would side by side with that version of a mix. But it's a losing battle when someone has in their head what they're looking for and who they should go to that person. So kind of a lesson for everyone that listens. If that is to happen, don't take it personally, right? It has nothing to do with they don't like what I do. I mean, I've mixed 20 songs probably for them, and I have another one coming next week for the same. It's it can't be personal. Just as the other story of I like how you made the drums hit, but I want them to not hit as hard. That's not personal. That's not even anything. There's nothing about that is more than what it is simply in that moment, which is we need the vocal to be louder so I can hear the song better. And the drums don't need to knock as hard because they're still knocking hard. Like, just that simple. And there's nothing personal involved with either of these success to failure stories. Because I wouldn't even pick one as a success and one as a failure.
It's just
one
a process.
Worked out. It's just a process. Anyway, that's like the antithesis story. And it's kind of the fact that it happened on the same day or two, to me, is like, that's the story of what my life is going to be. Like, it's never going to change. 30 years from now, I'm still going to be mixing records, probably. Maybe that's like the end of the career, depending on how the ears are upkept. But someone's going to like what I do and another person's not. Like, how can that ever change?
Well, we talk a lot about a very important thing for people coming up and developing their thing is to really figure out as you try a lot of things when you're starting out, you sound like a lot of different people, you do a lot of impressions of other producers, of other mixers, whatever. As you start to figure out what it is that you really like and where you really sit that distinguishes you from other people, it doesn't mean that you just do that forever. You still, I think it's a good idea to do exactly what you did in both of these scenarios, which is do some things you wouldn't otherwise do as part of the collaboration and see what happens. And sometimes it works out great and the CEO of the company screams and goes, "This is the shit." And other times you do 4 different mixes because you love the artist and you want to challenge yourself and it doesn't work out and you don't get the mix, but you pushed yourself and learned new things in both scenarios. So they're both wins. I think it's a really important lesson for people.
Yeah, I think so too. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
I think it's great.